Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Yeah, you know what it is. Hard worker, scrappy, unfiltered, and sometimes unhinged football content. Hard to explain, but you know it when you see it. Doing it daily our way. I don't know what you're talking about right now. Redraft and Dynasty Fantasy Football, we got you covered. You know their defense is ranked like 31st in the NFL. NFL draft prospects and rookies. Now you know you in the right place for that.
Absolutely.
All right, then stop saying it. Then we're done. And prop bets with my man Jay Rich.
Count that money, man.
Now wipe the crust out of your eyes, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake your ass up with Ray G. You honestly are making absolutely no sense and you sound silly as hell. Jay Rich, you're chilling. People said you didn't have bed sheets. Can you confirm that you have bed sheets?
Yeah, man, they're here.
Oh, shit, it's McNutty. He put beard oil in today.
I'm ready to
And
go.
Woo! Adam, the other half of 4D in the building. How you doing, Adam? We got to add some color to this, man. I got to get my brother from another mother in the building. Gino! Guess who I put for Thibodeau for the fucking draft challenge? Dallas. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. Drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah!
Drake London.
Let's go!
Don't put on the helmet. Don't do. Oh,
Let's go.
This is just.
I
Oh my
can't do
god,
it.
Ray, what are you doing?
Oh,
I haven't
shit.
seen anything.
Oh shit! An Eagles trade.
What happened? What happened?
Dude,
What happened?
what is going on?
Is this, hold on, is this good for Dallas?
You got it,
Eagles are
Mike.
getting
You got
AJ
it,
Brown,
Mike.
baby.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Eagles are getting AJ
Okay.
fucking Brown.
Treylon Burks.
Ray.
Let's go.
Yo!
Kenny Pickett.
Wow. Kenny Pickett to the moon. Jalen Hurts.
Who's going to take a shot with me on the stream? Let's do it.
Cowboys.
Wait, Tempe's got a pick? Oh, that's round 2.
Casamigos, as you say, loosey goosey.
Yeah.
Ever since Dallas, Ray wants the whole draft to be chaotic. Like everybody else is coming down with me.
Let's wrap this shit up. I need to lay it down. Let's get it. Good morning, 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 good morning. Draft week, good people. It is Monday, April the 24th, 2023, and y'all decided to wake y'all ass up with Ray G. And for that, I appreciate you, as well as sitting through about 5 minutes of introductions. But it is draft week, baby. Woo! Let's get it. Yes, it's like Christmas, almost Christmas Eve for all of us out here. Excited for y'all being in the building. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code WAKEUP. Get an instant deposit match up to $100 and get access to the Destination Devi Discord for free for the entire year. Now, to my people in the building, what's happening with y'all? Gretchen, good morning. How are you? Dynasty Barry, Chad in the building. Alex C. Garrison, Patrick Price, Plural, Rural, Juror in the building. The Foxman, Mike G, Edward Ryan, Mike G, Josh Harper, Robin in the building, Mark H, Cole Daniel, Todd Roro. Man, it's going to be a damn good show. But I got to bring in my guy, Jay Rich. How you doing this morning, Jay?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I am on full-blown sportsbook watch right now. I am waiting, Ray. I'm checking those odds. I'm looking to see who's going 2, who's going 3, who's going 4. Where's the money moving, man? Because all these Twitter analysts can say what they want. Tell me where the money's moving, and that's where I'm willing to place my bets as well. So that for me is all it is. It's smokescreen season, so you got to be careful of what you're reading, what you're looking into, what rumors you believe, what rumors you don't. But at the end of the day, we'll have that all come to an end. Thank God, Thursday and Friday for the most part. Of course, some guys will be drafted Saturday that we like as well. But I'm very excited for draft week. Very, very excited. Done with all the research. Done with all the takes. Give me the results, finally.
Yes. And speaking of draft week, just want to hit y'all with a little bit of scheduling, how we're going to work this week. So we got Wake Up Today, of course. We got the trade show that's dropping tomorrow, as always, but there will not be a Wake Up show on Wednesday. It's kind of like the night before Christmas Eve, so there won't be Wake Up on Wednesday, but we will have Wake Up on Thursday. We're going to have a Wake Up show on Friday, And I'm almost positive we are going to wake y'all asses up bright and early on Saturday morning as well. So, a lot of wake up, a lot of content, a lot of dope stuff this week with the draft. And then next Monday, following the draft, Jay, we got a guest coming on Monday after the draft.
I did hear a rumor about this.
The RB whisperer himself, Noah Hills from BDGE. Noah Hills is going to jump on the Monday after the draft, and we're going to talk all things landing spot, talk about some of his guys, some of our guys, but that's the schedule this week. So no wake up on Wednesday. We will do the wake up show on Thursday, wake up on Friday, and I'm almost positive, as long as my son's game isn't at 8 a.m., we'll have wake up show on Saturday to kick off day 3 of the NFL draft. Jay, but we talked last week about doing looking at Dane Brugler's mock. I looked at the thumbnail and all that, and we didn't even touch on it at all. You told me it was going to be a mock, and you didn't do it. I'm unsubscribing. We're going to go through Matt Miller's. This is the final mock draft that we're going to look at before the draft, Jay. But really quickly, any sort of news rumblings that have your ears really perked up that we've been seeing floated around, rumors. There was some Derrick Henry getting traded rumor news to the Eagles. Jay Glazer said not true, but Jay, Tannehill's apparently available. I think Derrick Henry's available for the right price. It just doesn't make sense for Tennessee, man. Like, this is, in my opinion, this is a team, Jay, where they need to hit the reset button. They're kind of like in the middle of the road. You got Jacksonville and the upstart.
They were on their last limbs last year.
I know.
Last year it was like, are they even going to get through it? They went on that winning streak. Then they lose Tannehill, and they realized what they truly have when you don't have your star running back who can get you the ball and run for 200 yards. You don't have a quarterback that's competent. It's like they have no choice. But the biggest rumor, Ray, it's Will Levis. It has to be. Will Levis went from being a plus 400 to go number 2 overall to now being minus 140 on all the sports books. He's now the favorite, and there is no news as to why. Lance Zierlein was on Twitter because he was asked about it, and he was like, I have heard zero about Levis going at number 2. Anything to kind of corroborate the line movement, but obviously the lines don't move for no reason, so curious what that potentially could be. But you've talked about it a lot. If it's not Bryce, it could be Will, and now apparently it could be Levis as well going to Houston or another team that trades up to that number 2 spot.
Yeah, and I've been saying it, Jay, for a couple of months now. I think Will Anderson. I know the betting odds are Will Levis, but I think it's going to be the other Will. The Will that's a couple of shades, a little bit darker than old Levis. I think it's going to be old Will Anderson from Alabama. And to me, makes a ton of sense for Houston. You got DeMeco Ryans. Everything that he did in San Francisco with that defense, who was the straw that stirred the drink? It was Nick Bosa off the edge. Right now, Eric Armstead is a beast, and Fred Warner's really good. So I don't want to take anything away from the rest of the San Francisco 49ers defense, but having that dominant edge defender really made that defense tick, and it makes a lot of sense. And they have the 12th overall pick, Jay, so there's still room for them if they wanted a Levis or a Stroud or an A. Rich to trade up. But yes, betting odds are favored for Will Levis going number 2 overall. Jay, are you? Let's just can we be vulnerable with one another on the show?
Absolutely.
Can we be real? Can we be vulnerable? How much of last year is starting to creep in to your head just a little bit that A. Rich, Stroud, Levis, they fall, and maybe not fall out of the first, but Tampa Bay at 19. Minnesota at 20. Like, is there any fear right now? Because last year, to be fair, Malik Willis was locked in to 2, and damn it, if he didn't go 2, Jay, no way he's falling past Carolina at 6. And if he gets past Carolina at 6, there's no way Pittsburgh is going to pass on Malik Willis. And then we wake up and he's not drafted, and then he doesn't get drafted till the middle of day 2, right? The middle of day 2 in round 3. Sam Howell, he's gonna be a first rounder. He goes fucking the end of day 3, right? So is there any fear right now for you that these quarterbacks slip outside the top 10, potentially slip outside the top 15, or maybe even out of the first round in general?
I would say the top 15 is probably where is my fears lie, right? I don't think that we're going to see any of them, outside of Hendon Hooker, fall outside the top 15. But I think I wouldn't be shocked if we saw an A. Rich and a Levis fall outside the top 10. I don't expect it, but again, with what we saw last year, I just can't rule it out at this point. I think that Stroud is good. I think he's pretty much top 5 locked in, and obviously Bryce is locked in at 1 right now. But Levis is the favorite to go at pick 2 and pick 4. So whether you think he goes to Houston or you think he goes to Indy, probably a pretty good shot of that happening. And then Stroud is the favorite at 3, which again is some indication of Arizona obviously trading out, potentially going Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson, whoever's available there. But yeah, it's really just Rich seems to be the guy who may fall a little bit. How far, we don't know. And then like you mentioned as well, Levis probably. But I would be pretty shocked if Stroud fell outside the top 5. I'm assuming you kind of agree there.
I don't know, man. I don't know. All the stuff coming out about him, which I think is drastically overblown. Like literally,
Yep.
Jay, 14 days ago, he was the unquestioned. Everybody was like, Stroud, QB1. He's coming off the board to Carolina. He's the rookie QB1. And now I'm seeing stuff as low as, man, is Stroud even a top 3 quarterback in this class if Levis gets that type of capital? So I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Listen, man, from the very beginning, I've been pretty firm on if he gets the draft capital, Anthony Richardson's going to be my fantasy QB1. Not my NFL, real life, trying to win a Super Bowl QB1, but for fantasy, I've at least I can't flip-flop. I've been saying that as long as he's drafted in the first round, preferably top 15, he's QB1. Bryce has been QB2 for me with CJ Stroud as QB3. I'm not wavering off of that, man. I still like all of these guys. And just because I have Will Levis at QB4, that doesn't mean that I'm low on him. We just did a mock with Fantasy Pros on Friday, Jay. You took a lot of heat for taking Will Levis at 5 overall in a super flex draft. It seemed like nobody even got the concept of the format. So we are still very much bullish on Will Levis. It's just going to be really interesting to see where these guys go, Jay. But let's dive into Matt Miller's mock. I want to get into this mock. Let's wrap up the final mock of the season that we'll do, at least pre-NFL draft mock. And I just started at number 2 because at this point, 101 seems to be locked in, Jay. It's going to be Bryce Young, at least barring something crazy happening at the draft. But it's going to be Bryce Young at number 1. I think the draft starts at 2, and Matt Miller has Will Anderson, the DN out of Alabama, going 2, which if I had to bet on it now, we're doing a draft challenge in DDJ. Last year, you won the draft challenge. If you're part of the Discord, patreon.com/allgas, it's $25 entry fee into League Safe. You got to wait 6 weeks to get paid. That's just how League Safe does. You got to wait 6 weeks after the deadline. But we've got players, and all you have to do is draft where they go. Doesn't matter the round, just if you have Will Anderson, you think any team, just pick the team. So we've got a $25 draft challenge. Winner takes all. Jay Rich, you won it last year. But if I had to put money on it right now, I would say Will Anderson to the Houston Texans. We scroll down this mock. You got Tyree Wilson to the Cardinals. And here we go. Indianapolis selects CJ Stroud at number 4, which, Jay, if he's on the board, it would be hard-pressed for me to believe that they would pass on him. And if CJ Stroud goes to the Indianapolis Colts, Jay, I'm just going to say it. I think this is very, very good for all pass-catching weapons there. I think it's good for Jelani Woods / Mo Alley Cox, whoever the hell's playing tight end. It's good for Michael Pittman. It's good for Alec Pierce. I don't know who's playing slot for him this year, but whomever that may be, because Paris Campbell is gone, it will be good for that individual as well. CJ Stroud at Indianapolis. Jay, we haven't seen anything else besides Bryce Young off the board. Who would be your QB1?
That's tough. I'm coming around to the Panthers situation with Bryce Young. I know that Ben Cummings, who was on that Fantasy Pros mock draft with us, talked about how Carolina is one of his favorite spots. And we've I think we've done the whole roller coaster of, they have no picks. How are they going to build around him? And then they bring in some weapons. We're like, okay, they're kind of doing some things there. They have the offensive line. They should have a solid run game. And Bryce should be able to deliver the ball accurately and on time. But I still kind of like Stroud and Indy, Ray. I don't know what it is about Indy. Maybe I'm just riding the Steichen hype and the run that he had with Jalen Hurts. But I really like Stroud and Indy. And I think, I've talked about how, for me, Stroud is my QB1. I think I would take him over Bryce Young in this instance here, having him in Indy versus having Bryce in Carolina.
Yeah, I think, listen, man, it's not... every wide receiver room isn't going to look like Philadelphia or Cincinnati, right? I think the talent of those bigger pass catchers is enough. Like if you've got a good quarterback, they should be able to elevate, right? Are you the truck or the trailer? And I guess that's the question for CJ Stroud. And a lot of people are wondering because he played with Marvin Harrison and JSN and Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson and Emeka Ibuka. Is he the truck or is he the trailer? Is he the guy that's pulling the rest of the team or is he being pulled by the team? I think CJ Stroud is a truck, not a trailer. So I think this would be a good spot for him in Indianapolis. Now we scroll down the board. Seattle has been rumored to be interested in Anthony Richardson. They passed. Detroit, we know that they're not taking a quarterback. Shout out to everybody who got Jared Goff for dirt cheap in Dynasty last year. They're going to roll with Jared Goff. And then here we go. Anthony Richardson, number 7 overall to my Las Vegas Raiders. Jay, I mean...
How do you feel about it, Ray? I don't love it, but the Capitals great.
As a Raiders fan, I feel great. I'm like, yes, 7th overall pick, QB of the future. Fantasy, I don't think he'd play. I don't think he'd play all year. I don't think he would play unless Jimmy G got hurt or Jimmy G turned into Jimmy G, which is a very high probability. I don't think he would play early, man. I think this is a spot where they've already talked about the McDaniels system was hard for Derek Carr. He couldn't figure it out. This spot and New England spot is the 2 landing spots where I'm just like, I just don't want.
So whether
these guys
it's New
to
England
go
1 or New England in the West, like East New England and West New England, I'm kind of with you, right? I don't know how to feel about it. I think that McDaniels could design a pretty good system around him, but the issue is that how long does that take? How patient do we have to be? He probably doesn't play this year. Will he, step into a role and be ready next year? Hopefully, but if he doesn't, then where does his value look like? And are you waiting potentially 2 years for this quarterback? And you've talked about it, like we should be willing to be more patient because that payoff, if he does hit even after 2 years, is still worth it. But as a fantasy manager and having that player on your roster, it's tough to just sit on a guy for 2 years when you draft him 103, 104 overall in your rookie drafts. That I think is when it becomes tough for a lot of fantasy managers. Patrick says, does Atlanta take a QB if one of the top 4 fall to them, or are they rolling with Ritter? It seems like they're rolling with Ritter, but they may also be sitting. They may also be sitting in a spot where they don't think they'd fall. So sometimes if a player's there that you didn't think would be there, could be reason for them to select him. So here we go. Philadelphia, they don't take a running back right here. No Bijan Robinson. And then finally, Will Levis to Tennessee at 11. And then you see JSN at 12 to Houston. Jay, so really quickly, you've got the 4 landing spots of the quarterbacks in Superflex. Give it to me. Will Levis in Tennessee, Anthony Richardson to Las Vegas, CJ Stroud in Indy, and Bryce Young to the Panthers. What are the top 4? This is really tough. I think I would probably have CJ at 1, A-Rich at 2, Bryce at 3, and then Levis at 4. And JSN would probably potentially even be behind those guys. Ray, how would you rank JSN if that was the case for these quarterbacks? Would you put him ahead of any of those guys?
Well, that has been my biggest takeaway. I was texting Scott last night. Man, people really, I mean, the comparisons to Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are being floated out there fairly or unfairly. I don't think he's Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. I just don't. Like, I don't see how you can watch them and be like, oh, they're the same caliber of player. I think JSN is the unquestioned wide receiver 1, and I think he could be really good. But to say that he's going to be, because Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are 2 of the best wide receivers in NFL history at this points in their career. In history.
And Jefferson's the best. It's not even close.
When you're up there busting down Randy Moss's door, like, it's to put him in that air right now just seems a little bit.
And that's the comp, right? Because he played with Chase and Harrison's the Chase and Justin Jefferson, right? The JSN. Man. It's
like people got to relax.
Doesn't quite work out.
It's like you saw your first pair of boobs, man. Calm down, relax. You don't have to get that excited, right? Like, just relax. You will see more. I'm sure of it. All right. Yeah, I'm not going that high. People are just they're doing a little too much right now. He's good, he's great, but Jesus, man, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, relax a little bit.
Would you take him ahead of Levis? Because we don't like the Tennessee landing spot, and I didn't really mention that when I went through the rankings, but I don't love it. But I think, to your point, Tannehill could be at the door pretty quickly if they do draft Levis here, and I think this would be a great situation for Tennessee if it played out like this. They don't have to trade it up. They still got a quarterback of the future. And I'd say it's a pretty low stress, easy pick for them here at 11.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. JSN to Houston with Case Keenum. I don't.
That's
man.
what's tough.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, Jay. I don't know. I think this would be an interesting one if JSN goes to Houston with no quarterback. But if they do, you know what the play is.
They got to get Trey Lance.
Well, the play is Caleb Williams.
Or it's Caleb.
It's Caleb Williams. So let's keep scrolling down. Paris Johnson of the Jets, very good for Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall. Skoronski to the Pats, good for Bailey Zappi. Dalton Kincaid to the Green Bay Packers. Jay, how you feeling about Kincaid to the Packers right here at 15?
I would like it. I still, it's funny. You and I talked before we did the Bleacher Report mock draft, and I'm starting to believe that they aren't going to take a tight end. All these mocks have them taking a tight end here. And I don't think they're going to actually do it. But I would like Kincaid in the Packers here, 15. I think he slots right in. I kind of think Mayer is a better fit for the Packers system, personally, because he's a little bit better of a blocker. But obviously Kincaid is a great receiver. And I think, he would obviously thrive in that offense. But I think if I was pegging a player, a tight end, whether it's, Darnell Washington a bit later, but Mayer would probably be my pick over Kincaid. But I think both would be great in the system. Just for me, Mayer's a slightly better fit for the Packers system.
It's been 21 years since the Packers used a first-round pick on a pass catcher. Wow.
Damn.
21 years. Goodness gracious.
Don't stop now.
Man, I'm just going to tell you right now, man. Sneaky winner this offseason, Jay. Sneaky winner. I'm just going to give him one quick air horn. Just one. Sneaky winner's been Kenny Pickett. If Tennessee goes Darnell Wright, which some people believe is the top tackle in this class, I just think it's good for KP, man. Listen, Allen Robinson... we don't know, but they're trying to put why not take a shot on A-Rob? But what they're doing and trying to put some pieces around him, I'm okay. I'm okay with what Pittsburgh is doing with Kenny Pickett. So I would really like this Darnell Wright move here for KP for Pickett, man. I would really like this. All right.
Yeah, he's attacking guys on Twitter saying that he can't play left tackle. And Ray, because we didn't touch on this in the news, do the Lions go wide receiver at 18 now that J-Mo is out for 6 games for gambling at the team facility?
Oh, J-Mo using that fliff and getting those college picks in there. Maybe. I mean,
we expect the run to start around 20, right? And maybe not at Seattle, but right after that's when offense is we're starting to look at offense. But I think, if they wanted to go that route, maybe. Because a lot of receivers should be on the board.
I think it's in play, Jay. And right now, there's only been one that's come off the board, and that would be. Listen, what an idiot! We didn't even talk about that at the top of the show, but dude, what? It's
a bad rule too, though, right? Because
doesn't
you got
matter,
suspended.
Jay.
But okay, but if you wanted to bet on Javonte Davis and you are at the team facility, you're not allowed. But if you're not at the team facility, you're allowed.
Yeah,
right? Because it wasn't on football.
That's called working. You can't freaking go to Pornhub on your work computer on your work Wi-Fi. You can't do that. Wait till you get home. Wait till you get in the car. Do it on your. You can't do it at work. Like you just. Yeah. It's like you just can't. You just can't do it at work. Wait till you get home. Wait till you get home to put that in, right? And I guarantee what happened is he did it once, didn't get caught. You can't do it at work. Just poor S2 cognition skills from J-Mo.
Well, we're still waiting on J-Mo's S2 results, so we'll see. We're still waiting on that verdict right now.
They're probably low. Tampa Bay goes O tackle, Seattle goes DN, and then here we go, honeypot. Listen, what have I been doing all offseason, Jay? What have I been? Just what? I'm just asking the question. There's no need to ask the question if this happens. If he goes here to the Chargers, it is no doubt
101.
There's no ask. If the draft played out where A-Rich is in Vegas and Bryce goes to Carolina and Levis fall, there is no the question has been asked and answered. I mean.
Whether you're ready or not, you're taking Bijan Robinson.
Whether your team is ready or not, you're taking him at 101. Austin Eckler's requested a trade. He's already said the worst case scenario
Yep.
for him would be to play in LAC this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you didn't see.
Harsh
Yeah,
words,
yeah, he
Austin.
came out here and said that would be like the worst case scenario is he's in LAC. So
A little dramatic.
tad bit, but just like last year, we saw in the draft intro, we saw the draft day trade of AJ Brown, like completely.
Yeah.
I mean, shocked. No one talked about that prior, right? We were all getting ready. Are they going to take Olave? Are they going to take Treylon? They trade for AJ Brown. This could be a situation where you see the Chargers on the clock during the first round move Austin Eckler, and there's a
Yeah.
and
And Dalvin Cook, too, is the other one.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
So this would be amazing. Herbert and Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
My goodness. Baltimore Ravens, Zay Flowers at 22. We've got Hendon Hooker to the Minnesota Vikings at 23. So Zay Flowers, then Hendon Hooker. I think at this spot, Hendon Hooker should be comfortably wide receiver 5, right? He should be wide receiver. QB5, excuse me. Zay Flowers coming off the board as wide receiver 2. Do you think some would take Zay in Baltimore over JSN in Houston?
Maybe. I don't think so. Ray, actually, no. You can't rule it out. But I think it's an interesting conversation. I would still take JSN. But to your point, if you're looking for early production, you probably want Zay Flowers if that's the case. But he still has to compete for targets, right? Where JSN doesn't. And then Hendon Hooker and Minnie, love it. You have to sit for a year, but after that, wheels up. He'd be the starting quarterback there. I think it'd be a great fit. Ray, let's get to Dallas because I'm excited for this pick.
I haven't even looked at this mock yet, so this is all a shock to me. I have no clue who Dallas is taking. I like Emmanuel Forbes here to the Giants. They need cornerback help. Oh yeah, Michael Mayer. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't get mad about that one.
Yeah, we'll give
You
it an
wouldn't be
air
doing
horn.
Casamigo shots if that happens.
No, I wouldn't. I would not be doing it, but I'd be okay with Mayer in Dallas. I've continued to say it. I do believe that if he's on the board for the Cowboys, they will take him. And everybody who paid a whole bunch of money in auction startups for Jake Ferguson is probably feeling real bad. He'd be the immediate plug-and-play starting tight end from day one. Dak Prescott turned Dalton Schultz into a very, very
good tight end, yeah.
Very good tight end for fantasy, and Michael Mayer is much better than Dalton Schultz. So this would be a hand-in-glove fit. I would love it, and in tight end premium leagues, sign me up for Michael Mayer to Dallas probably at this point. You taking Kincaid or Mayer as tight end 1?
Oh, I'd take Mayer.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I'd take Mayer for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Love it. And it's funny, Todd, Jason Witten 2.0, and I encourage anybody to go in there and look at some early Jason Witten highlights for Dallas. Pretty good. Rubio, I think they will. If Michael Mayer's on the board, I do believe Dallas would take him at 26. Buffalo Bills, they need upgrade at wide receiver. So all you Khalil Shakir fans, Jay Rich drafted him in the 12th round of Underdog single quarterback leagues would be heartbroken because QJ to Buffalo. And say what you want about Johnston. He's been kind of a polarizing player this draft cycle, Jay. You put him on an offense with Josh Allen.
Does he see the field?
He's going to see the field. And it probably, they're going to throw the ball a ton. It's about as good of a spot as you can hope for QJ. I'd much rather him in Buffalo than freaking Arizona or one of those teams like that. So this would be good for QJ in Buffalo. And if I had to ask you, Jay, QJ in Buffalo, Zay Flowers, a couple of picks earlier in Baltimore, JSN in Houston, rank them. Initial
I think
reaction.
I would keep them in that order. I would probably still take JSN, Zay, and then QJ. The biggest thing with QJ is, does he get that early opportunity in Buffalo? What Matt's referring to is Gabe Davis pricing himself out. He's in a contract year, so you may have to wait a little bit on QJ. But again, the big thing here is a first-round pick, 27th overall to Buffalo, has Josh Allen. If he does anything, if he just catches 1 pass, 2 pass in a game, deep ball down the field, does things that Gabe Davis plays that he has not made at times, that would be very, very good for his value. I think you'd have to consider him, probably 7, 8 easily in some of those rookie drafts. But I think the spot is good. I'm just curious what the early playing time may look like for QJ in Buffalo.
There we go. DJ Turner to the Bengals. Brian Branch to Philly would be unreal. My goodness, I don't want to see it. Then you've got Jordan Addison. Oh, boy. Woo! Man.
Just feels like he's destined to be wide receiver 1 at this point.
Now
let's play Patrick Mahomes.
Now let's ask the question, Jay. Jordan Addison, for a lot of people, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, Kansas City, Richie James, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, Travis Kelce, and then Jordan Addison. Fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times. I'm in. I'm in, Jay. I'm in. I'm just being real. Talk to me.
So,
talk to me.
I mean, he's going to be highly drafted. That's going to happen. But can he be that much better than Juju, that he's worth the 105, right? Because that's where we'd be looking at him. We may have been looking at him at 104, right? Behind, like, honestly, with the slander to
Will
CJ
Levis?
Stroud. And CJ Stroud to Will Levis, A-Rich going to Vegas. If people don't like that spot, which I don't think they would.
No, they wouldn't.
People are going to be like, well, I get Jordan Addison, Blitnikoff Award winner as a sophomore, still had a great season at USC, talented route runner, can do what Juju did last year. Plus, he's younger. His skill set indicates he'd probably get targets early. He's better than all the receivers there. You can make a case for 103.
Cody Carpentier said how high in caps. He wants to know.
I think
stop
103
dancing around.
is the number.
So you would go. So Bijan, Stroud.
I think maybe
Addison?
Bryce, and then Addison.
Man,
I think that's where if you are trying to figure out where could he go, what are his range of outcomes, 103 to 106 is where I would put those range of outcomes. I think assuming he's going to go at 5 is a little short-sighted because of these landing spots of the quarterbacks. I think in Kansas City, you have to at least open your mind to the possibility he could be going all the way at 3 overall in some rookie drafts.
I'm kind of with you. I think people would not like A-Rich to the Raiders. I really do. I think people would be like, they don't like it. They already don't like Will. I don't think there's a...
And Tennessee wouldn't help.
I literally don't think that there's any draft spot that could help Will Levis. If we wake up on Thursday and he went number 1 overall, people would just be like, they're idiots. Why would you do that? If he goes 2 overall, they're idiots. Why would they do that? If Tennessee trades up to 3, they're dumb. Why would they do that? And then if he goes at 11, I told you he's the 4th best quarterback. That's why he went to the Titans. There's nothing Will Levis can do to change the perception that people have about him. And I do think Addison to Kansas City, people would take him over Will Levis, even in Superflex. No,
I think so, easily.
Not easily, man.
But would they take him over JSN? And I think the conversation would be if Houston walks out, Ray, with no quarterback at all, Case Keenum, more hell out there in Houston, like no quarterback, you'd have to consider the possibility of him being wide receiver 1. That may not be your rankings, but people would draft him as wide receiver 1.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That capital with that team and those, I just am confident that Addison is better than Toney, Richie James, Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say that he's a better wide receiver than those guys. All right, Jay, let's go through round 2 and just kind of hit on some of the highlights in round 2, Jay. So let's go down right here to the Indianapolis Colts, round 2, selecting Jalen Hyatt, 35 overall. Jay, talk to me. Jalen Hyatt, 35.
I really like this fit. You
love
just
it,
talked
Jay.
about how who's going to play the slot for Indy with CJ Stroud. How about Jalen Hyatt?
Love it.
Ball placement specialist, gets down the field, stretches the field for Pittman. I think it's a great fit. You can have the tight ends work the middle of the field, Pittman, and then you still have Hyatt over the top. I really like this fit. I don't think we've seen this at all. In all the mocks, Hyatt going to Indy this high early in the second round. I love the fit, though. I'm assuming, obviously, based on your reaction.
Love Hyatt in Indy. And he would not be asked to be the one. They'd stick him in the slot and have him run 3 routes. 9 route, crossing route, smoke screen. That's all he's running all season. And with Stroud and John, Jay?
And Jason's saying rip to Pierce. I actually don't think it would kill.
Yeah,
Alec
I don't
Pierce
think it would kill.
entirely
Yeah, I don't think it would
either.
kill
I think
Pierce.
it could actually open things up for him as well because he would be on the opposite side.
Yeah.
You know, you'd probably see more Hyatt and Pittman alignments together, and then you have Pierce on the other side. No one's paying attention to Pierce when you got Hyatt and Pittman on the other side of the field, so he'd be wide open on the other side, just running his short little routes, curls and stuff, moving the sticks. Like I think all players would benefit from Hyatt being there.
Josh Downs to Seattle. Jay, love it. I mean,
Yeah, that'd be a good fit.
love
That'd be
it
a good fit for
as
sure.
as the Tyler Lockett replacement. Carolina with Cedric Tillman.
You have to think about it because I mean, who's there long term? DJ Shark, Adam Thielen. There's no outside threat there. Terrace Marshall, if you're still in, right? Cedric Tillman could easily be that guy. Dominant outside threat, can be the alpha on a team that doesn't have an alpha. I really like the fit here, and with Bryce Young, obviously, would be a great fit as well. Having a big body wide receiver that he can get the ball to would be great for him.
How excited are you that your boy, Jonathan Mingo, getting first round buzz right here to Tennessee at 41? Jonathan Mingo at 41. And Mingo has been getting a lot of hype lately, Jay. They're saying could
He
be
is.
the best receiver in the entire class. Jay.
Yeah. It's something, right? It's something. And Miller says it right here. If the Titans are upset about losing A.J. Brown during the 22 draft, a potential replacement can be found at his alma matter.
God.
I don't know about that one, Matt. But everyone knows. Everyone knows I'm a big
boy.
Mingo fan. Think he's got great talent. I don't necessarily believe he's a first-round wide receiver. You've seen Tillman and Mingo are the two guys, the outside threats, even in some ways ahead of QJ. I think the biggest thing for Mingo with me is he's very physical through the route, and if you watch him play, you'll kind of notice that. And I think that's where the A.J. Brown comp makes sense. But when you talk about after the catch, he's not even close to quite there yet. Obviously, production profile isn't there as well. But I'm curious how they would use him. But in Tennessee, it's still tough. Like they'd have Levis long term. But if there's still going to be this dominant run first offense, where's the value going to come from? I'd probably still prefer Burks by a wide margin there over Mingo.
Tyler Scott, whether it's Dane Brugler, Matt Miller, I'm going out on another limb, Jay. I'm on all the limbs. One leg is on one limb. I got another leg standing on another limb. I think Jordan Love is in for a sneaky season. I think that they are going to do everything that they can to make sure that Aaron Rodgers knows this was not a mistake. They're going to do everything possible. Dalton Kincaid, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Scott, Bijan Rock. They're going to get all of them. They're just going to load up Jordan Love with all these weapons. I don't know what to think about Tyler Scott, but he's fast. He's dynamic. You pair him with Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs. You've got Dalton Kincaid. And he's a top 50
starting to look pretty
pick.
good.
Scott's been talking about this. If you're a top 40, top 50 pick at wide receiver, you historically, you're in a good boat to succeed for fantasy. So a lot of hype about this Tyler Scott. He was the number 1 overall pick in the USFL draft. So if he doesn't get drafted, he's already been drafted number 1 overall by the United States Football League. So good for Jordan Love here in Green Bay with Tyler Scott. Let's scroll down the board a little bit more, Jay. Pittsburgh just loading up on offensive linemen. And here we go. Jahmyr Gibbs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Talk to me, Jay. Gibbs in Tampa.
It's okay. They're going to be bad. That's the biggest problem for Gibbs. And so where are those running lanes going to come from? That offensive line is still kind of a work in progress, but I like, the potential opportunity for him. They're not going to just throw the ball 1,000 times a game. They're going to have to run the ball. I think can beat up Rachaad White easily. So at that point, you're looking at a player drafted in the top 50, second RB off the board, in a pretty good landing spot with potential opportunity. I think you would catch passes out of the backfield there. Like, how many passes did Lenny catch last year? I mean, part of that was a product of Brady, but I think the system does pass the running backs as well. We've seen it even with Rachaad White there. So I think he could assume a pretty good role. What does it look like? He mentions Tony Pollard in Dallas. I don't know if it'd be quite that fruitful for him, but I think it'd be a pretty good spot for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It'd be like him and White kind of are the same a little bit, man. I don't know.
Gibbs is a better White. He's a faster White.
Yes,
he's not a bigger White, but he's faster. He's more elusive. He can catch passes better. So it's interesting how they'd pair the two together. But I mean, I'd rather have Gibbs for sure in that case.
Yeah, man. I think what I don't believe is he's going to walk into the season as the unquestioned RB1 and is
No.
going to get all 60% of the work. They're going to get somebody in there. I'll just say I love this Osiris Torrance pick for the Dolphins. I kind of want him in Dallas. Maybe 26 is a little too aggressive, but this big guard would be good for Tua. It'd be very good for Tua. Steve Avila, somebody the Cowboys have been looking at as well. Good for to pair Avila with Charles Cross and Abe Lucas that they drafted last year. Good for Kenneth Walker. Good for Geno Smith. So I would love that for those shares. And we scroll down a little bit more, and oh boy, you get big Darnell Washington to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Did you see this tweet that Scott Barrett sent out yesterday about Darnell Washington?
It was like the list of all the stats.
Well,
He's like the best tight end or whatever.
He goes, Darnell Washington leads the class in, and then he says, pause, take a deep breath. Yards per route, yards created after the catch. It's like 10 different things that he was at the top of the class. And people are just like, yeah, it's almost with Washington, some people have said it sort of feels like Roshan Johnson being stuck behind Bijan Robinson. Like, this is a dude that could have been a star somewhere else. The problem is Darnell Washington was playing alongside Brock Bowers, who's going to be a top 10 pick next year in the NFL draft. Probably one of the best collegiate tight ends we have ever seen, ever, as far as just his production and athleticism. So it's kind of unfortunate, but even in that, for him to be looked at and viewed as this high of a player, good for Darnell Washington. And, you know, he's an extra offensive lineman out there to help out Travis Etienne, to work with Trevor Lawrence. You give T-Law a big, massive red zone weapon. They only have Evan Ingram as on a 1-year deal. They tagged him, so he doesn't play in line. So this would be good. This would be good for Darnell Washington, and I love him paired with Trevor Lawrence. I love him paired with Trevor Lawrence. Cody Mock, the guard out of North Dakota State, good for Daniel Jones, good for Saquon Barkley. And then we scroll down, and then the Cincinnati Bengals go Luke Musgrave. So we're just having a tight end bonanza here. We've got 2 in round 1, 2 in round 2. Cincinnati, we know what they've got, Jay. Luke Musgrave to the Bengals. My goodness. Rank the 4 tight ends. Musgrave to Cincy, Mayer to Dallas, Kincaid to the Packers, and then Darnell Washington to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rank them.
So at the top, I already talked about it. It'd be Mayer and Kincaid. The issue for me is trying to choose between Musgrave and Washington, because I think they're both in similar situations. I don't know how much opportunity Washington would have outside of touchdown upside, but I think you can make the same case for Musgrave in Cincinnati. There's just so many weapons there on both teams. And again, Washington, we've talked about it, is a great blocker and asset in that regard for the team as well. They do have Evan Ingram. I would probably lean Musgrave here a little bit, just literally leaning on the offense. I think both could see similar opportunities. Ray, do you feel any differently about that list? Would you have Musgrave over Washington, or would you take Washington first?
Man, coin flip, man. If I had 10 of them, give me five of each. I still would have. I think Washington is a better tight end than Musgrave. There's no doubt that Musgrave could develop into this excellent pass catching weapon. You turn on the tape, you blow on him, he falls down. He's not going to play in line. He doesn't have the strength and the power to do that just yet. But I'm not going to ignore the fact that he's going to be tethered to Joe Burrow. But I mean, Darnell Washington would be tethered to damn Trevor Lawrence. So I probably would still give the slight edge to Darnell Washington over Musgrave. Mayer would still be my tight end 1, and then Kincaid at 2. So DeJuan Jones to the Bears. Excellent for Justin Fields. Love this for Justin Fields and whoever's running the ball in Chicago. And then we scroll down. Oh, God. Kansas City does it to us again. Here we go.
Ranks.
Oh, boy.
Throw them out.
Oh, boy.
Throw out the ranks, Ray.
Sam Laporta to Kansas City. Okay. Jay, you know what the people would do. KC does it again. Laporta. How would they feel?
They would be the most rational bunch of any group of people ever. They wouldn't waver. They wouldn't make up their mind. They wouldn't change anything. The ranks would stay the same. No, Ray, they would put him at tight end 1. He'd be Travis Kelce replacement. He's going to retire after the season with Jason. All the narratives would be flying around. Laporta, the new tight end for Patrick Mahomes. Question is, would you rank him ahead of Mayer?
I would not. No.
But would you rank him ahead of Kincaid?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think you can make the case to rank him ahead of Kincaid if you're that convicted, but I think that Mayer's locked in Dallas if he's there.
I'm not doing it,
So where would
Jay.
you put him? You wouldn't put him ahead of, what about Washington? You could make the case. You could make the case easily. You wouldn't want to do it, but you can make the case. And then obviously Musgrave, same situation. So for me, for sure, he'd be ahead of Musgrave. I think you can make the case ahead of Washington as well. But yeah, it'd be tough to put him ahead of Kincaid or Mayer.
I wouldn't put him ahead.
That people would do it.
I wouldn't put him ahead of Kincaid. I wouldn't put him ahead of Mayer. Maybe what? It's a good spot, Jay. And if in the off chance, let's just say Kansas City runs the table, they win the Super Bowl, but I think here's why I don't think Kelsey's retired. First of all, he doesn't get hurt. He's just Iron Man, and he's on the verge of setting all records for tight ends in NFL history. Like I think we keep doing this, and then we look up and he's 37 and he's still doing his thing. Like Kelsey seems like he's still having a good time. He's having fun. He's not getting hurt. They actually reduced his snap share this year, so he's not even playing on the meaningless downs. I don't know, man. This would be one where you're just doing a lot of hope
for Jordan Addison, though, because I think it could be potentially. I think Laporta does a lot of good things in the middle of the field, and that could take away a bit from what we hope Addison could get in that role.
If Addison can't get on the field and is getting targets pulled away from him from Sam Laporta, then that's not good. Then I don't want Addison. I'm not. If Jordan Addison is going to be getting targets pulled away from him from Laporta, I don't want him. Like, I just don't want him. So I think I'd have Laporta in that 4 range. I would probably take him over Musgrave. Probably. Yeah,
I would too.
All right. Let's go down to round 3. Oh, yes. Houston, tank for Caleb. Let's go. Jaron Hall at 65 for Houston. They're just going to be bad.
Okay, but Ray, where would you take him though?
I would not.
You wouldn't draft him at all. 65 overall.
No,
you wouldn't
sir,
draft him.
Bob. Absolutely. How many languages do I need to say no in? How many? No, I would not take him. I'm good on Jaron Hall, man. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm taller than Jaron Hall. I will. I'll leave it at that.
The fact that I'm damn near the same height as Jaron Hall,
we
and
stood right next to Jaron Hall.
I'm like, I don't know, man, and I'm not very tall. Listen, height. No. All right, Zach
he
Charbonnet.
Is not Bryce Young.
Zach Charbonnet to the Arizona Cardinals. Jay, what a fit. Well, you got 2 James Connors there now.
Yeah,
you got a younger, faster James Conner, and then you got James Conner. I like it. They just run there's no quarterback. They have no quarterback. Kyler ain't playing for him this year. They got to keep Kyler safe to trade him, man. They got to keep him safe.
So how much does he play though with Connor there though? Because like you said, they do
probably
the same
a lot.
things.
Probably
you think
a lot.
He plays a lot even with Connor there. Okay. I think
Probably
if Connor's healthy, though, I think he plays over Charbonnet, and that's the fear.
Yes. He's going to play over Charbonnet if he's healthy, yes. But these two would just run the ball. They just run it with Jonathan Gannon or whatever the head coach's name is. No clue who it is. Oh, the Rams have a pick. We're not even paying attention to the Rams. Marvin Mims to the New Orleans Saints, Jay. Marvin Mims to the Saints. Okay, so you add him
That'd be disgusting.
As a third, fourth option. You get Mims. You got MT, who they say MT's back healthy. You've got Olave. You've got Rashid Shaheed. Marvin. You've got Juwan Johnson, Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams. They are the front runners to win the NFC South. So Marvin Mims to the Saints, NFL-wise, great fit. Fantasy-wise, I don't know. Okay. Right? I don't know. I don't know.
Ray, let's just be honest here. I think what he does well is very similar to what Henry Ruggs did well in Oakland or in Vegas, right? And we saw the success they had over a very short period. And I believe he had over 500 yards in like 6 games with Derek Carr. And in that season, Derek Carr was one of the most accurate deep ball throwers. I think that Mims would open up a lot of things for Olave as well because Olave was running a lot of deep routes last year. I really like this fit. Even though I'm a big Shaheed guy and I think Shaheed would thrive in that deep threat role, Mims would definitely be an upgrade in that role overall for sure.
All right, I got to address something. So Damon said, what happened to opportunity to get an opportunity for Hall? Yeah, I just don't want it. I'm good on Jaron Hall, man. I'm not banking on a third.
Ray?
Sure. Jeff Driscoll started for the Texans last year, so probably. And I don't want him. He's not very good, man. He's not very good. So no, thank you. And then Joe, I've been saying this for 3 freaking months since December. That the Texans trading for Lance makes a ton of sense. They brought in who better to trade for the guy than the organization and the people that were inside the organization that saw him every day in practice. Like if they don't want to collapse for Caleb, then trade for Trey Lance. And it seems very logical for them to do that. All right, we got Trey Palmer, the speedster from Nebraska in Atlanta. think this would be good. Nice compliment for London
spot.
and Pitts. I kind of like that spot. Oh, Sidney Brown. Oh, I want him in Dallas so bad. Sidney Brown to Green Bay. Rashee Rice to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Tucker Kraft, tight end out of South Dakota State, to the Detroit Lions. We know the Lions lost Hawkinson. Brock Wright, I don't know, probably not very good, but maybe. Tucker Kraft there, I'd be pretty excited about that. Rashee Rice in Pittsburgh, again, giving Kenny Pickett weapons, right? We'll see how that plays out.
Yep.
Oh
boy, Ray. Devon A-Chain, 84 overall to Miami.
Whew.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to draft him and pray. I'm going to draft him and pray. I mean, that's what I'm going to, I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to draft him and pray. Look, you know who Miami's running backs are, right? It's Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, and Myles Gaskin.
Yep.
A-Chain's he's going to get on the field at some point with those guys. At some point in this scheme.
He'd be great in the scheme. Great in the scheme.
I would like it, Jay. I would like it. I don't like the fact that he's a 40%er at best, but third round capital of the Dolphins, I'm okay with it, Jay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay
he's
with
in that
it.
consideration. So one of those second round backs would be targeting for sure.
Yeah,
Capital's there.
Hey, shout out to Destination Devi, man. We got
Let's go.
We got like how many kids were born in DD last week? 3.
In the span of like 3 or 4 days.
Jordan Backus and Gene. Shout out to Gene. And his son, man, Gene, off the line fantasy. He's young. He's got a little Gino now. He's got a little Gino. Got a little one, Makai. So shout out to my man Gene and his wife Nikkei. Very good friends of our family. Shout out to them. So A-Chain to Miami, the land of 5'9" running backs that can just run. Track meet. Him, Jeff Wilson, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle.
Moser, yeah.
Woo! Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's keep pushing down the board a little bit. The Giants love these guys. They just Daniel Jones.
Hand and glove fit.
Just little wide receivers to the Giants. Once my Achilles is good, I'm gonna go try out. They like little receivers. I can still run routes at 37, Jay. I can go run some routes now. Tank Dell to the Giants. I mean, it's
little interest, but in best ball maybe.
A little interest, right? It's a little interest, right?
But there's
boy.
but as interesting as his size, right? Yeah, here we go, Ray. This is the one. This is the one that would set you off on the draft stream on Friday. 90th overall from Texas, Roschon Johnson to the Dallas Cowboys. Ray, could he be your 60%er to Tony Pollard's 40% in Dallas?
Absolutely.
Oh, that was quick.
Absolutely. Somebody said the little Giants. Yes. Roschon in Dallas. Man.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. Because here's the thing. I do not believe they're going to re-sign Tony. They might tag his ass again, but they're not giving 26-year-old Tony Pollard a 4-year, $40 million deal. Not happening. Dallas is going to draft a running back to replace Zeke Pollard production. And what better fit than Roschon Johnson, who does a lot of the same things that Zeke did, but he's younger and he's more explosive. He's great on third downs. He can pass protect Dak Prescott. You need that. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He can bang between the tackles. He is the look of a 3-down back, a 60%er, right? At 200 and almost 20 pounds. Jay, there have been some good landing spots in this mock. Where does he go? Is he a first rounder in rookie drafts?
I don't think so, no.
Really?
I don't think I can make that case, no. I don't know if I want to go there with Roschon. I think he's really good. I don't know if he's going to just step in and replace Zeke, though. That's where I struggle a little bit. I think he's a good running back. I don't know if he just, again, steps in and just replaces Zeke entirely. The touches should be there. I think it's still probably a 3-headed backfield, especially early. But to your point, the opportunity could definitely be there. I just don't know if I would put him up in the first round. I think there's enough good landing spots. He probably wouldn't be there, but right around, the 2-2, 2-3, 2-1, definitely can make the case there. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if he cracks the first round, but he would in a lot of drafts.
He'd go round one in a lot. He'd go round. But let's just keep the blood flowing, because it is flowing. And the Cincinnati Bengals take Tajay Spears at 92.
See, this I like a lot more, right? Because I think whoever the Bengals get at running back is going to have a clear runway to roll with whatever the opportunity is. And Mixon ran the ball a ton last year. So if you do get Spears there, and he is, for all intents and purposes, the only running back there. Now, I think they could bring in a veteran, right? They seem like a team that would bring in a veteran to kind of tote the rock between the tackles.
Got to bring
just
in
be
that
a grinder out
Zeke
there.
Elliott. Got to bring in that Zeke, and then Lenny
I still
Fournette.
think Tajay could be that 40%er with some upside, but I do believe that if this happened, I would be pretty shocked if they didn't bring back Mixon on a cheaper deal somehow, bring in Zeke, bring in Leonard Fournette, just a guy that can tote the rock between the tackles a little bit more. But I do like Spears a lot in Cincinnati. I think it'd be a great fit.
Now, if they don't cut Mixon, they're just going to keep giving Mixon the ball every time. But on face value, Spears in this offense, man, dude, like
He'd be great.
He would be an awesome 40%er for sure. For sure. All right. Let's keep going. Yep. Oh, thank goodness. Kansas City didn't do anything to make us go crazy. Commanders go Jalen Duncan. The Browns go Jaden Reed. And then we've got Brenton Strange getting a lot of hype for day 2 capital. All right, let's kind of scoot through round 4, round 5, round 6, round 7. The Bears take Kendre Miller. We've got another tight end, Luke Schoonmaker, out of Michigan to Houston. Again, loading up for Caleb Williams. Denver, Tank Bigsby. Love that spot for Tank Bigsby. We go down the board. You got Izzy Abanikanda to the Commanders. My God. Xavier Hutchinson to the Minnesota Vikings. Let me just say this. If Minnesota doesn't address wide receiver early, Jay, then I'm just telling you, deep dynasty leagues, check your rosters. Probably nothing, but I would pick up Isaiah Nayor. Just pick him up.
Okay.
Probably good for KJ Osborne. If they don't address wide receiver early, there's probably going to be some opportunity for some of those guys last year. They take Hutch here in round 4, and I think the 2 receivers that they already have currently on the roster are better than Xavier Hutchinson. So just keep that on the back of your radar. Seattle Seahawks take DTR. The Ravens go Dwayne McBride. The Chargers take Charlie Jones. The Browns go Zach Evans. The Jags go Dontavian Wicks. So we've got a lot of offensive skill position players off of the board in round 4, with the New England Patriots wrapping up with A.T. Perry. Favorite pick from round 4, Jay? You got Abanikanda. You got Dwayne McBride, Zach Evans, Charlie Jones, Bigsby, Kendre Miller to the Bears. Favorite pick in round 4 for fantasy?
I think it's probably Tank Bigsby, and it really just hinges on the fact that we don't believe Javonte Williams is going to be ready for week 1. And so if all they have is Samaje Perine there, and we've talked about it a couple times, there was a mock where Zach Evans went there, and I was kind of in, because again, the big thing for me is that of all of these players and all these spots, I think he's the one that could have a very good shot to early opportunity, right? And that's the reason why I'd probably want to take a shot on him there. I think Denver's offense will be better. Sean Payton loves to run the ball with multiple backs, so I think he could see opportunity early. So I do like that fit quite a bit. You know, Kendrick to the Bears is great as well. But I think for me and kind of where I see it, I'd probably take Tank Bigsby, who went to Denver. Who's your favorite pick of this round?
I think Tank to Denver is really good. I do think that's a really good spot because Javonte's not playing anytime soon. I think Izzy to the Commanders is interesting. Brings that element of speed, and if Gibson's not ready or whatever, he's a good complement to Brian Robinson. I also think McBride to the Ravens would be a nice combination. Gus Edwards probably
feels like a back they'd like.
Feels like a back that they would like. But honestly, and again, this is more NFL than fantasy. Charlie Jones to the Chargers, I think that's good. I mean, they didn't address wide receiver early. You got Palmer, so the top 3 would be locked in with Herbert, but I think Charlie Jones potentially could carve out a role with Justin Herbert there. People saying that I scrolled by Jaden Reed. I mean, he's in Cleveland. He's wide receiver 4 behind Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, and Donovan Peoples-Jones. I like Reed. I mean, you can go check the receipts. I talked about him before anybody, but this spot at 98 doesn't really get me really excited to draft him very high. It's fine. Like, I think it's okay. But let's go round 5. We've got Michael Wilson to the Bears, Eric Gray to the Bills. We've got Elijah Higgins. Got him as a wide receiver. I think he's going to play some of that H-back sort of move tight end like Jordan Reed out of Florida did for the Washington Commanders some years back. I think that's what Higgins is going to be. Aiden O'Connell goes to the Saints, quarterback out of Purdue. We also have Parker Washington, wide receiver from Penn State, going to the Commanders. Jake Haener going to Detroit to back up Jared Goff. What else do we have in this round? Chase Brown to the Lions. Okay, that's pretty good. I like Chase Brown to the Lions. Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Here we go. Oh, man.
Keyshawn Boutte to the Chiefs, Ray. 166.
Oh, Oh boy, Keyshawn Butte.
Just when
to
I
the
thought I was
Chiefs.
out.
We got
Just
Butte.
when I thought I was out.
Just when I thought I was out. Keyshawn Butte to the Chiefs. Tanner McKee to the Rams. We also have Stetson Bennett to the Packers. Andre Osovis to the 49ers. Evan Hall to the Raiders. Sneaky. Like it. Cam Latu to the Colts. Okay. And then Deuce Vaughn to the Rams. All right, Jay. Keyshawn Butte to the Chiefs.
I'm just gonna ignore that one a little bit. Don't really want to go there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I like. You know what's actually interesting? I do kind of like Tanner McKee to the Rams. Not that I would draft him overly high, but it would give me interest to take him late in a rookie draft, like in the 4th round. Because again, like, okay, Matt Stafford's starting. Okay, Matt Stafford's starting, right, Ray? We'll see. I think Tanner McKee could get some run there. And then, of course, gotta love me some Stetson Bennett, Ray. Stetson Bennett would be great in Green Bay. But in terms of fantasy, I really do like Evan Hall on the Raiders beyond this year. I think he could see a role behind Josh Jacobs. And Deuce Vaughn is interesting. I don't know how well he'd fit in the Rams system, especially... Who was the back they took last year? The undersized running back? Kyron Williams. It just feels like they're taking Kyron Williams over again.
I bet you Deuce Vaughn outplays Kyron. Bet that. I'd put money on that he outplays Kyron. Would outplay Kyron.
Would.
Who
do you like in this round?
Chase Brown.
Okay. You like Chase?
Good offense. Good offensive line. DeAndre Swift has shown an ability to not be healthy for all 16 games. Probably some opportunity there for Chase Brown. I think that's a good fit, Chase Brown in Detroit.
And we've talked about it in the Discord a lot. Like Elijah Higgins, wherever he goes, you want to pick him up off waivers in case he moves to tight end because he probably will. And on the Raiders, again, of course, replacing Darren Waller would be a pretty good role for him.
Looking through round 6, you got some tight ends. Payne Durham out of Purdue that went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So good for Cade Otton.
The Commanders.
Will Mallory to the Commanders. They need a tight end, Jay. They need a tight end. Bryce Ford Wheaton to Denver. No, thank you. Sean Tucker to the Houston Texans. A lot of stuff going on with his medicals right now, and don't really know what this. Yeah, just hope he's okay, man. Just honestly, like we talk shit and have fun on here, but ultimately, man, it's a stupid game, and these guys are people. So hopefully everything is okay with Sean Tucker. Really, probably not for me in rookie drafts, man. But I hope he's okay, and I hope he gets a chance to show his stuff in the NFL at some point in a healthy, safe way. Sean Tucker
any interest in Bryce Ford Wheaton to Denver?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Zero. I don't want any of these receivers. None of them. I don't want any of them. 6th round.
Justin Shorter to Arizona.
Oh, yeah. Give me that Justin Shorter. Got to have that Justin Shorter. No, I don't want Justin Shorter. Keaton Mitchell to the Jaguars is going to be a good return guy for Jacksonville. And that's about it out of this one. And then let's just go to round 7. We've got Ronnie Bell out of Michigan to Philly. Puka Nacua to the San Francisco.
To the Saints.
Well, you got Kenny McIntosh to the Rams. So you got McIntosh, Kyron, Deuce Vaughn, Cam Akers, Rodriguez to the Saints. Probably would be some sneaky opportunity early, especially if Alvin Kamara is,
Well, you need Jamal Williams, right? He's the one.
Yeah.
You have to overcome Jamal Williams.
If Kamara gets suspended is what I was going to say. If Kamara gets suspended, which we haven't heard anything about that.
Yep.
Antonio Mafi, I like this guard out of UCLA to the Raiders here. Probably makes that team. Travis Dye. Interesting.
I like that.
First time I've seen Travis Dye in a mock, but he goes to the Seattle Seahawks right here.
Replace Travis Homer.
Yep. Xavier Valade out of Arizona State. I like me some Valade. Raheem Jarrett to the Dallas Cowboys. Denrick Prince out of Tulsa. I've been scooping him up. Last pick in the 4th round. Speed guy. Sneaky little spot. Right? Sneaky. He's fast and he's big. Sneaky spot for the Giants. Backup running back to Saquon Barkley. You got Grant DeBose out of Charlotte. Ronnie Brown. Don't know who that is. Clayton Tune to Tampa Bay. And then I think that's Ryan Miller from Furman. Haven't watched a lot of Furman. Xavier Gibson out of Stephen F. Austin. Shout out to them. Haven't watched any Stephen F. Austin. But Matt Miller said he likes that Valade pick to the Packers at 242. Yeah. So there you go, Jay. I don't really want to go through our favorite picks in this spot, but this would be a very interesting draft for fantasy purposes if things played out this way. All right, Jay. There it is. We went through Matt Miller's mock, and I think that is going to be the last mock that we do. Here's the thing. I think Kuiper and McShay are going to come out with something
Probably one more.
on Thursday, probably on Thursday. So Thursday, we're just going to rumors, news, have some fun, look at some spots, take some bets, play some games.
And we could talk draft challenge too, right? Because
Draft
challenge
challenge
results have to be in before Wednesday night, right? So
Wednesday
have
night.
to be done before we do the show.
Correct.
It'd be midnight, right? Or Thursday at midnight, Wednesday 11:59 p.m.
Yep.
So we could talk that a bit as well, which would be fun. Talk about the odds, where things are trending, because tons of movement will happen. But I'm excited to see it all go on for sure this week. It'll be fun.
Same. And I'm telling y'all, listen, this is no shade to anybody out there. If you want to have a damn good time and just chill, there's no draft stream better than what we do. Last year, Jay, I think we had 600-700 people in the stream just kicking it from start to finish. We're going to do the same thing this year. Scott Connor's going to be on with us for the whole time during round one. Mike and Adam. I don't know if Gene's going to be there with Lil Man, but maybe Gene. Ike will be there. We'll get Backus on, some other creators from Destination Devi. And if anybody else wants to jump in, man, you never know. We might pull some special guests over to jump in our stream and kick it, but make sure you are here. When do we go live on Thursday? When do we go live?
7:30 p.m. Eastern time is the scheduled time, but we'll definitely tweet it out, update you guys if anything changes. But yeah, right now 7:30. It's already up, so you can go hit the alert button so you know when we go live. It's on the YouTube channel, scheduled already. I'll schedule out draft day 2. And then the wake-up shows, like Ray mentioned, that we're going to be doing will be tons of fun. And then Noah on Monday will be culminating piece.
Yes.
Could you imagine if Bijan goes to the Chargers? He would give you so much shit for Isaiah Spiller. Much.
He would. But that's what it's about, man. So make sure y'all are tapped in. Thursday, wake up. No wake up on Wednesday. Dynasty Trade Show. We are about to record that now. So patrons, get those in the Discord. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out the building. Jay, it was a good one. We will see y'all. Oh, Jay said she took off Thursday. Jay, I took off.
Let's go.
My son's got a damn game on Friday, and I'm missing his damn game to do the draft, man. Let's go. All right.
Gotta work.
Gotta work. All right, we'll see y'all on Thursday. We out. Appreciate y'all. Peace. Before y'all close off of the video, I just want to say thank you for checking out the content on Destination Devi. Really appreciate every single view that we get. And the only thing that I ask is that you hit the thumbs up button, like the content, subscribe to the channel, and if you can, comment below for the algorithm. Really helps the channel grow. Now, if you want more exclusive access to me and the entire Destination Devi team, patreon.com/allgas gives you that access. Now, if your money's a little funny, we do have free content for you. Make sure you subscribe to the All Gas newsletter. There's a link in the description of this video below, and subscribe to the Destination Devi podcast radio feed, where we got all types of shows hitting airwaves every single week. Now y'all can get out of here. I appreciate y'all tapping in. It's All Gas all the time. I love y'all. I'm out of this thing. Peace.